Amy Coney Barrett has been confirmed to the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm very, very happy for the outcome. I pray that this is the right decision. I hope that President Trump knew what he was doing when he selected her. Of course, I am in agreement with Robert J. Barnes that Barbara Lagoa probably would have been a better choice. But let's also remember that Robert J. Barnes, or I apologize, it's probably not his middle name, Robert Barnes, stated that he didn't believe that Amy Coney Barrett would be confirmed initially, that there would be massive challenges to her being confirmed to the Supreme Court, and that this might have been a bigger political deal than what has actually happened. For those who didn't watch the confirmation hearings, by the way, I didn't watch most of it or any of it really, but it was largely a bore fest. It ended up not really being about Amy Coney Barrett. It ended up being more about Trump. It ended up being more about the 2020 election. It ended up being more about fascism, this imaginary fascism that exists in the U.S. somehow, and about white supremacy as well. They had to invoke that during the confirmation hearings, completely forgetting that Amy Coney Barrett is sitting like literally feet away from these senators. It was just a lot of moral posturing by the modern left and, of course, the conservative party, and it was largely boring. It's like okay, orange man bad, and the other side's like, oh, orange man good. This process is okay and legal and just, and then they're like, no, orange man is really, really bad, and that's really about it. You didn't miss anything. There were a few interesting moments that kind of stick out in my mind. For example, Cory Booker, that little weirdo, he ended up asking Amy Coney Barrett if she is a racist, if she is a white supremacist. This is absolutely absurd to ask a woman who is a mother of Haitian children. Let me say that again. She's literally a mother of kids from Haiti, little children from Haiti. That's who he asked this question to. He's asking this woman if she wants to have supremacy over certain Americans because of the color of their skin. Do you realize how absurd and disgusting that is? Man, if you're not outraged by that, well, you got to check your moral compass or something. I think it's off a little bit. Another interesting moment throughout this debacle was Senator Hirono from Hawaii. She ends up asking Amy Coney Barrett. She asked a woman who is well vetted, who's been background checked extensively. She's gone through probably one of the most vigorous background checks in the United States. I would know. I used to work for the government, so I understand these things. So she's been checked out, right? She's on the up and up. She asked this woman, who, by the way, is a mother of 5, 6, 7 kids, a married woman. She's ever raped anybody. She's ever sexually assaulted anybody. Do you realize how insane and unhinged the Democratic Party is? These people are losers. They are absolutely crazy and insane, and they are not worth voting for and supporting, especially for the way that they treated this woman. And not only that, I haven't forgotten how disgusting their behavior was during the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh, an innocent man who was also similarly background checked the way that Amy Coney Barrett was. And they dare to have accused this man, if he's ever committed, gang rapes. If they asked him if he almost killed somebody, if he's drugging women. And of course, Senator Hirono asked Amy Coney Barrett this. Oh, it's protocol. This is standard. I ask everybody this question, she says. Yeah, I'm sure, sweetheart. I'm sure you ask everybody that question. What a crock, man. What a joke this woman is. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand the Democrats. It makes me so upset. It makes me so angry. But we got goofballs like Reza Aslan over here, being completely mocked and destroyed by Sean Fitzgerald, who goes by the Actual Justice Warrior here on YouTube. Really awesome channel. I recommend people check him out after this video, of course. But he's, mocking Reza Aslan. Reza says on September 18th, if they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. Sean Fitzgerald says, your move. That's right, your move, boy. What are you going to do about it, Reza Aslan? President Donald J. Trump replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a Catholic, with a conservative, with a woman who appears to be committed to upholding the Constitution of the United States. I think that's wonderful, and there's not a goddamn thing little creeps like you can do about it. Fuck you, Reza Aslan. Let's see. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is losing her mind. Let's see if I can find her. Why is Mini AOC not verified? That's weird. Anyways, expand the court. Expand the court. Now what they're doing is they're engaging in linguistic propaganda, because the initial terminology is pack the courts. That doesn't sound that flattering. That doesn't sound like a good thing. We're going to pack the courts. We're going to pack the courts because of reasons X, Y, and Z. That doesn't sound good at all. Most Americans actually don't want that. They don't want the texture of their country to change. They don't want the makeup of the government to change that drastically, especially this quickly, especially for emotional reasons or politically expedient reasons. The modern left, the Democratic Party, didn't get their way. They're not getting their participation trophy. This is the real world. This is the big leagues, and they lost. And now they want to expand the court, which is really pack the court. So what exactly does that mean? That means they want to add more justices on top of the justices that have already been added. So essentially, they're going to be canceling out the votes of the conservative justices on the Supreme Court at this moment. That is what packing the court means. So instead of the current makeup of the court as it is right now, they're going to add like 5 or 6 more or whatever obscene number, it doesn't matter, to cancel out all of the votes of President Donald J. Trump. And a lot of people on the modern left, some of the far lefties that I talk to, seem to be okay with this. They seem to be totally cool with this because they are upset that, they didn't get their way. They're upset that the process wasn't fair. Well, life isn't fair. The Democrats got their butts kicked in 2016. The Senate ended up being held by the Republican Party, and I think they ended up expanding the majority in 2018. So they get to choose who ends up going on the Supreme Court. They get the final say. Of course, the president gets to decide who the nominee is going to be. The Senate gets to decide whether or not that's okay. And in Trump's case, they said that's okay. They said that it's okay 3 times. Trump has gotten 3 justices in one term. That is fantastic news. It's awesome. Now, of course, we're not out of the woods yet. There are a bunch of Supreme Court cases that are going to be, going on throughout this week as I'm making this video. And I am praying that Amy Coney Barrett decides to side with the American people. She ends up siding with the Constitution. She ends up siding with the President of the United States. We need a lot of victories here. You got a lot of crazy stuff going on in some of these swing states. You got the legislature, the local legislature of certain states. You got these overzealous, very politically motivated judges making decisions about the election process in their states. And the Supreme Court is absolutely going to have to step in and put a halt to it, because what they are doing is violating people's 14th Amendment rights. So goodness, man, God bless Trump. God bless the Supreme Court. And let's pray that, the safety of our justices, is maintained, that, somebody tried to leave suspicious packages near a building. The Capitol Police is investigating. I haven't followed up on that incident yet, but man, a lot of crazy stuff is happening. So again, pray for the safety of the justices, pray for the safety of the president, and let's hope that, they maintain our elections integrity. Let's hope that they do not, allow these overzealous, very politically motivated justices in these swing states to change the rules of the election, because that will likely ultimately decide who ends up being the president of the United States. You know what? I want Trump to win. I want the good guys to win. I don't want a pedophile in the White House. I don't want someone who's likely compromised by the Communist Chinese Party in the White House. I don't want someone who is so corrupt and disgusting and vile and just a total loser his whole life in the White House. I want Trump in the White House. The man has always been a winner. He's always been a fighter, and I think he's more than fit, more than capable of continuing to do this job. And, I think, Brett Kavanaugh was an excellent justice. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I think, Robert Barnes has mixed feelings about this. So that's kind of like the way that I guide my initial opinions. It's like, if he doesn't think it's that good, then I'm like, well, maybe he sees things that I can't. But, I hope he's wrong about Amy Coney Barrett, because initially he was wrong about her and even being confirmed, because he genuinely believed that she wasn't going to be confirmed. I could be wrong about that. Again, Robert Barnes, if you end up seeing this, I'm not trying to throw shade. I remember hearing your words, and you said that this wasn't going to happen the way that it's happening right now. So again, fingers are crossed, man. We need some victories. Take us home, Amy Coney Barrett. Take us home, and let's fucking finish this shit, guys. Vote on November 3rd for President Trump and the Republicans. Peace out.